Yeah, I've recently was listening to some online content about Hood Days because we had Bear from 8 9 here talk about he's one of the founders of Hood Day.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Yeah,
I'm leaning more towards the bear thing, right?
but the 7-4 Hoover thing does kind of make a little sense though.
No, because the 7th Hoover Day is on 4th of July and y'all already gathering.
Exactly, they're
So
already
so
gathering,
so that's different.
but it could mean that it morphed like they gather every year on July
I
4th.
can't help but to. Y'all popping fireworks.
Yeah, but then eventually it morphed into a Hood Day.
When was our first set day?
Our first set day was in, I can tell you, matter of fact, bro, that was in
Lake Elsinore.
Lake
Cathy
Elsinore.
Mons.
So that was 1982,
I'm pretty sure it was.
81, 82.
It could have been 81, but it was early on.
That was
Yeah.
it. In Durham, the boy Durham, he used to play in Police Church, was the one, and Keisha got the buses, and we in Lake Elsinore.
Miss Marsha.
Miss
On
Marsha,
74,
the T-Foes.
on 74 with
The
the, but
T-Foes.
yeah.
So they might have been the first hoods to.
Hey, listen, bro. I got bros from over. Shout out Trigger Bird, bro. The birth of Hood Days, I believe, came from A9 East Coast and the boy Bear.
Yeah,
Bro, and the Hoovers is Inglewood family allies. We rock with them. But I gotta tell the truth. Just me using my common sense, and it's documented. The news even covered it at one point. The A9, it's Bear and the A9 East Coasters, they got that. Now, just because y'all gathered on 4th of July and there's a gang of gangbangers there, that wasn't considered a hood day. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that them gathering annually on July 4th it kind of sets a precedent for other hoods to gather annually. How about here? Let me say it like this.
You can't, bro. That's one. Look, 7-4 Day is a bad example because it's 4th of July. Y'all gathering anyway.
They're gathering anyways,
So if it was another street that said that from Hoover, then we could be like, okay.
but they're also gathering because it's July 4th.
No, we don't know that. Now they claiming that.
No, I believe that they would say this. I remember when I was a kid, 1983. I was only in LA for like 2 years. I was about 12 years old. I remember the ETG saying, "This is our year. This is our year. This is our year." Back in 1983.
Okay, now, my dad, my uncles, and all my dad homeboys, they from the east side. They from 8-9 Family Swan, and we was Christianed in this because they all celebrated because they had 8-9 babies. And I'm thinking it's deliberate. It's a lot of them have 8-9 babies. My uncles, my dad, and they celebrated because they from 8-9, and they was having 8-9 babies.
Yeah.
We was Christian in this shit for real. But I gotta give it to Bear and the A9 East Coasters, bro. As much as I hate to do it.
Them parties was what I called hood days, and we started them. I started them.
When did they start?
88, like 88. I used to clown when I was in YA. And my birthday is July 27th, but I'm from 8-9 East Coast. And so August is the 8th month, 9th is August 9th. So we created 8-month 9th day. And so at this time, and Queek, all you dudes know, all you Crips that used to, from the West and everywhere came up to the park, y'all know. So when we threw the first party, it was a day party. I was able to rent Washington Park Pool. And we had this big ass party. I'm talking about the sheriffs there. Everybody at the gates and trying to look in. One day I'll give you the footage. I got it on CD. My boy was there at the transfer for me. It was in video, but my boy, his brother is Carl, and then his brother. They stayed off 112th in San Pedro. They used to coach football at Locke. But Mike Evans. So Mike and them I got them as DJ. And they came, and we had this big ass Doodle Brown contest. This when Doodle Brown came out, we had this big ass contest, and when we was up there, the party, it cracked. We had over 500 motherfuckers in there. We had motherfuckers all up on top of the roof, and we had people all on the deck. The sheriffs there, they not tripping, and then We made food. We was feeding everybody that was there. We literally took our money and bought a gang of food and shit. And so my boy Queek from A-Tray Hoover died. Hyde, for dudes from Hoover, Rick, all these dudes would come over to the parks. They wasn't scared. They didn't have no problem because we was Crips at that time and we wasn't tripping on each other. And so once we threw that party, Quake and them turned around and invited us to Manchester Park for the first A-Trade Day.
But I think a lot of dates were in the early 80s were associated with different sets. And I don't know when it started. I don't know like who. I distinctly remember 1983 being like A-Trade Gangsters was really popping it. This
Just
is our
popping it
year.
'cause of the year.
Because of the
Yeah.
year. So, but I wonder if they were the first because you have 1982, 1981. I don't think this was a thing in the 70s. 78, 79, 80. But
We got to bring Bear back.
yeah.
We got to talk about it. And then I think I heard Monster Cody say before, like in '83, what he say? He started the North Side.
He might have started it around. Let me see. In 1980, he was born.
I might got it wrong. I believe I heard him say he started North Side A-Tray in 1983.
I think he was born in 63. So he would have been 20 years old in 83. That might be about right. The Nutty North.
The North Side.
But the North, I might say it might have got it started before then. The North has always been pretty known. I don't know when they stamped it the North. Because, Tookie lived on 69.
North Side A-Tray Gangsters became the more notable side and the more popular side. But I think back in '79 when they beef just started with the A-Tray, with the '60s, I could be wrong, but I don't think it was no North Side A-Tray Gangster yet. It was just original West Side or West Side A-Tray Gangster, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know when they stamped the North on it, but the North has always had a presence because of Tookie.
Mm-hmm.
Tookie lived on 69th.
Right.
And everybody kind of, circled around Tookie.
Mm-hmm.
And they would lift weights over there with Big Jack. Big Jack, who wasn't an A-Tray, and he wasn't a Crip, but Big Jack was a weightlifter that hung with Tookie. And he lived in the 60s, right where Tookie lived. So that took that. And then, the Brims were right there, too, and the Brims were very prominent in the 70s. So there was a little bit of button heads between the Brims and the A-Trays, which were the North Side. Well, I don't know when they stamped North on it, but that 60s section of A-Trays always had a huge presence.
I believe Monster Cody said '83, but that's gonna be one of our fact checks for next week.
Yeah, but I think Bear might have that, the history of the Hood days. I think Bear got that.
And four of us went over to me, Lex, Lil CJ, and J-Bone.
Is this kind of like the beginnings of Hood Days?
Hood Days.
Because this is a 80s thing, right?
Yeah.
A late 80s thing.
Yeah.
Because there were no Hood Days in the 70s.
No, it was like 87 when we did the first one. 87, then 88 is when it really took off. So 87 was the first pool party. And then I just realized, like, doing one next year. But in that go-around, everybody else started doing it that was familiar with it. And it just grew. It grew. Next thing I knew, everybody was doing Hood Days. And for me, I flipped Hood Days. I took it and I said, fuck it. I'm going to start throwing these parties and make this money. So for like about 22 years, I made money off of parties. And my following became almost like 800 people. And I could rent any building, any place, and pack it.
But the 7-4 thing is definitely something that morphed into Hood Day.
Trends and how Hoover had set the stage for, the production for a lot of trends that we see today in LA. Set days is one of them, and for a lot of other sets, they call them Hood Days.
Well, I put
That's
the
us, right?
trends.
That's us.
Yeah, that's us. The trends is that particular trend.
So-
If these dudes can, I would ask any one of these dudes, because they all got Hood Days now.
Mhm.
I would ask any one of these dudes, when was y'all first Hood Day?
Yeah.
When did y'all start this? Because I know I know for a fact, bro. I'm telling you, we talking years ago, bro.
Yeah.
And 4 days, 7-month, 4th day is the 4th of July.
All right.
That was the first day that we were able to go somewhere without the police touching us.
Yeah, say anything.
And I bet you, I don't know if they got. Here's the thing that people would say: do you guys have flyers? Do you guys have any written things to document when y'all was getting together to invite people?
So today's story takes place, let's say June 10th, 1999. I don't know who put it together. I don't know whose idea it was. As you can see from the flyer behind me, it was not very professional. It says barbecue at Westchester Park, baseball, music, annual picnic, June 10th, 1999. We was calling it the annual picnic at that time. Dudes would be driving around in their cutlasses or their Regals or their little buckets and have flyers in their car. Sheriff or LAPD pull them over, get wind of it. Police would show up to all our functions.
I guarantee you that the 7-4 Hoovers was saying July 4th, 7-4 back in the day.
Man, I think the Hoovers is looking back like we was outside.
Yeah.
We was deep on that. We was outside first. We was doing that first, but it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? It was just Hoovers that grouped up on 4th of July. That's what I believe.
Dudes need to understand us Hoover Crips. We set the trends in this cripping.
Absolutely.
Nobody can deny it.
All right.
We set the trends in this shit.
All
We
right.
made up a lot of trends. The original golf hat.
Yeah.
Where do you think them came from? The Hoovers.
Yeah.
The Crip Walk. We didn't start the Crip Walk, but we made that shit different. We the
Made
one
it
brought the
pop.
twists and turns and all that. Dancing Bear, Nine Deuce Hoover.
9 deuce.
Straight the fuck up.
Yeah.
Sule.
Set
Mama.
days.
Man, set day, 7-4 day. We start set days.
Okay. We're going to get some. I'd love to follow up with some OG 7-4s.
Man, we need to get Bear in here.
So what inspired your first party? What inspired your 87? Was it 1987 when you did your first one? What inspired that?
Me clowning.
But were you seeing other dudes doing a little bit of partying? And
No, there was no party shit going on. I was clowning in YA. I was in juvenile hall. And me and J-Bone, which is Jeffrey Washington, all of us, we up in YA. There's a few of us, Crook from Q102, Evil from 11-8, Boo from 8-9, even Horace, which ended up becoming a 11 Deuce Broadway, but he was from East Coast in the beginning. Baby Case from 11-8. I mean, I can go on right now. Shorty from 11-8. All of us is in there. Sleep from 8-9. And Dog from 8-9. It's a bunch of us. And then I can, Monster Cody and them is there. We kids. Them dudes is older than us. And I used to clown. I'd be like, nigga, today my birthday. It'd be August 9th. I'd be like, today my C-Day. And I'm like, no, it ain't, nigga. It's August 9th. It's my C-Day, nigga. It's my day. And the motherfuckers were like, boom. So when I got out, I was telling homies, let's do this. And then me and J-Bone and his brother Lil T, we was hollering because we was in the same circle. And I was like, man, we could do 8-9 day. Let's do this. And so we put it together and we did some food. We barbecued in the park because we was cool with everybody at the park, at Washington Park. We barbecued, and then I'm telling you, it was everything in the park. Hoovers, kitchens, Compton Avenues. It was any crib that was in good standing was in that park that day. And when I say it was over 500 people, it was over 500 people, and I'll prove it to you when we get another chance. I'll give you a shot at the video, and you can look at it.
I think Tony Stacy. Tony Stacy's like a first-generation Hoover.
Tony Stacy is 7-4 for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And I think he won't be biased because he came from the East Side.